In this video, we are talking about the truths and myths behind being a young real estate agent. Let's dive in. So what's up everybody, Henry here. We're going to be talking about the myths and the truths behind being a young real estate agent. And if you're watching this video, guess what? I got in this business right before my 21st birthday. And I'm telling you right now, look, I didn't make my first dollar until 11 months in the business, okay? So I'm telling you right now, I had every single possible mental belief around being a young real estate agent. That I couldn't do it, I was too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. I had every single belief you could possibly imagine, and I'm here to tell you that after a few short years and after millions and millions of dollars in commissions later, I'm here to tell you the truths and the myths behind being a young realtor. And honestly, I'm gonna be real blunt, because point number one really just has to do with this. Point number one is confidence is more important than anything. No one cares about your age, they want to look at your confidence levels, because I'm telling you, at 24 years old, I sold nearly 80 homes that year. What I'm here to tell you is that my confidence level was off the charts. I knew, I was convinced that I was going to be one of the best realtors in the country. That conviction, that level of confidence allowed me to go into a real estate listing appointment. And guess what? I talked so confidently, they never really asked me about my age after I started really selling some homes. Now, hold on, I'm saying this point on purpose because I want you to go,
but Henry, I haven't really sold that many homes and I'm still young.
And guess what? I was there too. But here's the difference. I knew where I was going, and you need to have the belief in yourself. Because point number two, the objections that you're getting stems from your belief in yourself. Because if you have that objection about yourself, outwardly, you're projecting those objections to then come back to you. So any objections you have about yourself, you're going to get. So again, if you're wondering if you even are qualified to sell this home, like if you walked into your first $1 million listing, what you're going to do is you're going to project an uncomfortable energy around you, and then I'm telling you, the person is going to be like, well, so how many homes have you sold over $1 million? You're going to be like, well, my office has sold some. This happens all the time. Quick story. For a period of time, I never sold a $1 million plus home. And then I went on my first $10 million listing, before I even sold my first $1 million house, okay? I went on a $10 million plus listing appointment. And guess what? I got the listing because I was just like, screw it. I have nothing to lose right now. I'm just going to walk in like I'm the freaking best in the freaking world, super freaking confident. And I was so confident that guess what? They didn't even ask me about how many homes I sold. I was just so freaking confident walking in there, so enthusiastic, so energetic, so ready to roll. I don't even remember what I said, but I can tell you is that I was just like whatever they needed, every objection. I was so on the ball. Notice I was 24 at the time when I signed that contract. What I am here to tell you though is that at the end of the day, your confidence is more important than anything, and the objections that you're getting every single day are objections that you have in your own head. Now let's talk about something really quick. Being young also has an unbelievable amount of advantages. So let's talk about a few of them. Number one is that, listen, you can live broke. And I'm not telling you to be broke. I am telling you to live within your means and then some. If you can learn how to live below your means at a very young age, and live next to broke, which means if you're bringing in $10,000 in commissions, you're saving a majority of that money, because what happens is they have a family, they have a house, they have rent, they have this, they have that. Like, listen, I didn't have a ton of expenses at 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, right? I started to have more expenses because I started to live a different lifestyle. But I'm telling you, if you can live broke, because you're young, you're going to have an advantage because you can sock more money away. You can save more money. I even tell you to live at home. I lived at home making $600,000 a year plus because I was just saving a ton of money. And guess what? It saved my tail during COVID. Thank God. The cool thing though was that because I lived at home, I was able to save a lot of money. I was able to take care of my parents and all of their bills, and it was an amazing thing. It made me feel really good. Point is, like, again, because income went to zero. So thank God I lived at home and I was very smart and I was able to live broke. Point number two, you have limited distractions. When you're married and have kids and all these other things, you're gonna have a lot of distractions. So what I did was that when I started making, halfway decent money, I broke up with my ex-girlfriend because guess what? I was like, listen, I am too distracted. I need to make sure that 100% of my time is spent in my business and going 100% all in. Now look, some of you might not like that, but I can tell you this, within 24 months of breaking up with my ex-girlfriend, I went from $50,000 a year to $500,000 a year, so it did have some advantages. I'm not telling you to break up with your spouse at this point. What I am saying to you is that there is a reason why being young in real estate or even any sales job in general and being able to have very limited distractions can be incredibly beneficial. Speaking of limited distractions, you also have a lot more time. So having all that extra time because you don't have kids and all these other distractions, you're gonna have more time that you can spend in your business. So you're gonna have more time to make calls, more time to go networking, more time to go do all the things that make you money, more time to invest in yourself. Again, being young has incredible advantages. Another advantage is that, guess what? If you just possibly committed to the next 5 or 10 years to go all in, eliminate all distractions, go 100% all in on this business, in 10 years, you're still gonna be pretty young. Listen, I haven't even been in the business for 10 years yet, and I mean, like, listen, within the first 6 years, I was a millionaire. I also want you to understand something. Within the next 3 years, I'll probably be worth 100 million. So by the time I'm 10 years in this business, I'm going to be worth probably somewhere between 50 and $100 million. Now, I'm not saying every single one of you is gonna be that successful, but what I am telling you is that I'm only saying this to show you that if you start young, by the time you're 30 or 35 or 40, you will be worth an unreasonable amount of money if you do things right. Because you have, the next thing that I'm trying to bring up here, is you have much longer for the compound effect on your money and your efforts to take place. Because if you start in this business at 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, guess what? You have less time for that compound effect to take place. Now, if you're 20, 25, or 30, you're gonna have a lot more time for the compound effect to take place. Now, listen, I'm not saying you're not gonna see results for 10 years. I am saying that you can put in a crazy amount of effort for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. Then you're gonna have the residual effects of going all in for 3 to 5 years, and you're gonna continuously see more and more and more of that effect over the remaining 5 or 10 years of your career. So that's why I'm trying to say you have time to see the compound effect of your money and your effort. Yeah, we've all heard about the compound effect. If you take a penny and you double it over 30 days, within the first 10 days it's only worth 10 bucks, but at the end of 30 days it's worth 10 million. So this is why it's so important to have the compound effect and get started in this business as soon as freaking possible. And guess what? The only thing that I promise you that I've heard more than anything, and you'll hear over and over and over again, is one of the biggest regrets that people have in the real estate business is that they didn't start soon enough. Exactly. Right? They didn't start soon enough. So again, thank you for joining this business at the age that you did. I'm so grateful I started at 21 because I had a few years that I stumbled. I had a few years that didn't work out, didn't go the way I wanted it to. And guess what? It all worked out in the end because I have longevity in this business. I'm starting to have longevity. Longevity in a business will prove more so than anything else. So just stay consistent over time. I promise you're going to be successful. If you're watching this video and you have yet to schedule a call with my team, I'm here to tell you this. I got my first coach when I was 21 years old. I invested $10,000 in my coach, and thank God I did that because it led me down an incredible path. And by the way, that was my first coach, was 10 grand. My second, after all the conferences I went to within my second, third, and fourth years, I must have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in myself when I didn't have the money to begin with. That first $10,000 was on a credit card, but I was able to close 2 deals right away because of the things that I learned. I was able to pay off the credit card and have the coach at the same exact time. Thank God I invested in myself. And if you are the same way, if you're thinking the same way, like I'm right there, I know what I need to be doing, but I need more accountability. Or maybe I'm kind of stuck and I don't know where to go next and I just need a coach in person to guide me. If you're wondering how to go to the next level, this is the way to do it. You go in the description down below and you schedule a consultation with my team and myself. We are here to support you because all I care about is seeing you successful, seeing you eventually build your own YouTube channel and help coaching millions of other people across the country, across the world, and making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. That's what I'm passionate about and I want to help you get there. Okay? So make sure you go in the description down below and schedule your call right now. Last thing I'm going to say to you is this. Having the early years be in this business, having the ability to be able to stumble and fall, having the compound effect, and having all that thing work in your favor, let me explain to you. If you made $100,000, let's say you started at 21 years old, just like me. Let's say it takes you 5 years to get to $100,000 a year, and you're making $100,000 a year after 5 years, which is super doable in the real estate business, okay? Because most commissions are $8,000 to $10,000, which means you only have to close basically a deal a month. What happens if you're making $100,000 a year or more at 26 years old, and you're able to save a majority of that money, and you invested in something like real estate, or the S&P 500, or possibly crypto? I'm not here to pitch you on this kind of stuff, but I am saying if you invested in real estate at 26 years old and buy a 2-family or a 4-family with an FHA loan, and guess what? If you're making 100, you can probably qualify for a property that, let's just say somewhere around between $400,000 and $600,000. That $400,000 to $600,000 property over time will be worth $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, $1 million over time, and you were able to do it at a young age. Get started in real estate, buy an investment property for your first deal. It's the compound effect. The longer that you give yourself, the compound effect will grow greater, right? Because you started so early, you're able to allow your money to compound over and over and over again. And thankfully, I've been able to do this and proven this time and time again in my career, where I've been able to take my money that I've made every single year and I dumped it into real estate, where now I have a multi-7-figure net worth very quickly. I've been able to build up sales teams and learn from the fact that, like, guess what? I've made mistakes that have cost me millions, but thank God I had my mentors and my coaches in my pocket, and I was so young that I was able to restart, and it didn't affect anything grand scheme. This is why it's such a powerful thing to get in the business at a young age, because wait till you see me in 3 years. I'm not even going to be able to recognize myself, let alone you guys recognizing me. I'm just saying that, listen, start early, stay consistent, have a longevity mindset, and let the compound effect take place, because you're going to be successful more than you ever imagined. It just takes a little bit of time. Other than that, guys, listen to this, okay? If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, make sure you put it in the comment section down below, because I want to be able to answer all of your questions, and I answer, by the way, every single comment, so make sure you put it in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love you so much as always, and I'll see you in the next video.